Hi, my name is Ashley Wilkins. I am the founder and creative director of Island Studio, and I'm here with Design Milk for DMTV MilkShake. Island is a full-service experiential design studio based in Brooklyn, New York, and today I'm going to be answering some questions from Design Milk around interior design and the hospitality industry. So what I'll be doing is taking some questions that Design Milk has provided out of this bowl here, so let's get started. All right, question number 1. What to you is the most intoxicating part of designing a space? To me, I think the first phase is always the most intoxicating part of designing a space. Everything that we do at Island Studio is centered around this idea of escapism and designing for the senses. We are really seduced by the stories and cultural narratives behind a place. And so the first phase is really crucial in the development of our design. Before we begin any design thinking, we want to build a story around how the space will feel, what it's going to smell like, what is the staff wearing, what is the music that's playing, and what are the memories that are going to stay with you well long after you're gone. To do this, we take our whole project team on location, usually for at least a week, to experience what a location has to offer firsthand so we can build that into our process. This is crucial for us in creating a sense of place to build our stories upon. So for example, we are working on a project right now in the Caribbean on the island of Grenada, and when you start doing initial research around the island and what it has to offer, a lot of what you see is, cruise ship like tourism based information. And so when we arrived to Grenada, we were set up with this amazing guide who took us all around the island and showed us all of the secret local spots. And one of my favorite experiences was before getting down there, we had found all of these 100-year-old tiki cocktail recipes that were developed in Grenada, and bartenders in New York had tried to recreate these recipes and they couldn't. They didn't taste right. And then what we learned is that in Grenada, all of the citrus varietals are different and the rum is different. And we went to the original rum distillery where these were, where the rum was used to create these recipes. And we found that it's so high proof in alcohol content that you actually can't take it on a plane with you because it will combust. So you either have to smuggle it out of the island or go there to taste it. And being able to be on the island, tasting the rum, smelling the cane sugar, eating all of the strange citrus varietals and nutmeg and all of the beauty that went into the land, and getting to know the culture and the people, that to us was so important and so intoxicating, and we were able to craft our whole narrative for the project around this experience. And I feel like if we hadn't done that, we would just be a New York design firm, taking our best guess at what creating like a tropical hotel should be, and it wouldn't be based in location or authenticity. So to me, that process is crucial, and it's so exciting and intoxicating. All right, next question. Number 2. You've recently completed a few projects in Albuquerque. What is unique about the design needs in the Southwest that differ from larger cities like Los Angeles or New York? There's a ton of differences from Albuquerque and New York and LA, but in New York, there's 24,000 restaurants in Manhattan alone. That is a super high saturated market. It's really tough for competition. There's a lot of obstacles that go in the way of creating food and beverage or hospitality experiences in New York City. So, when you go to a place like Albuquerque, to us, the first thing that we thought is this is just the land of opportunity. It's in the Southwest. There's so much potential, beautiful landscapes, just tons of space in general, whether it be the open air space or what's available to you to create your project. And the Southwest is super, super rich and diverse in culture, different backgrounds and ethnicities, and there's so many stories to tell. It's also really affordable. It's super weird and a really interesting place. I feel like building in the Southwest, there's less obstacles to bring an idea to life and incredible resources to tap into. When we were in New Mexico and we were designing a food hall, we were down there doing our location-based research, and one of the things that we found is that all of the landscape has juniper trees growing everywhere. But there's not a lot of gin bars in New Mexico or people distilling gin. So that was, just one example of something that we had found in our research, where if somebody wanted to go to New Mexico and create a gin brand, they would be the first of their kind and they could really pioneer that movement. And I think that there's so much opportunity for that in places like Albuquerque. All right, next question. Since the pandemic of COVID-19, design has definitely changed. Whether it will stay this way or go back to the way it was is uncertain. How do you foresee things possibly changing in your industry as we move forward? I think that things have already changed drastically so much. In the beginning, we didn't know what it was going to look like. I think most of us were, a lot of traditional design firms at least were struggling to figure out how to get their teams to work remote, how to change their servers, and that was something that I feel like has really pushed design studios into the future. But as far as like the hospitality industry as a whole, we've been talking to so many of our clients and people that we admire, and one thing that we're finding is that hoteliers and restaurateurs are no longer looking to build in big metropolitan cities. They're looking for those second tier and third tier cities that are maybe 2 to 4 hours outside of a major city, so accessible by car or train, places that are more domestic and easy to get to. We also are finding that there is this intense desire for localized lifestyle driven experiences, smaller, more boutique spaces, location or projects that celebrate the location of a place and really, again, tap into what it has to offer that can make it special and unique and staying on its own. Using the land in ways that they hadn't before. So whether that is building their own gardens or experiences like, bathing, in mineral baths or whatever on the land, any natural resources that are available to you to make that space extra special. We also think that because so many restaurants have closed in major cities, there will be a lot of bartenders and chefs who move to these locations, and hopefully because they're so passionate about their craft, will find those tiny special details of what the place has to offer and create kind of like a food and wine revolution or food and beverage revolution, introducing us to new foods and styles that maybe we haven't seen before. And I think this will give us a chance to slow down and vacation will become a lot more meaningful. Okay, next question. What's one fun fact about you and one about your business? I think one fun fact about me is that I grew up in a household of really picky eaters. I hadn't even had an onion or a tomato before graduating college, unless it was in like a sauce or something. And when I started working in restaurant design, I was able to taste new foods with low stakes at friends and family events. And this opened up an entire new world for me. I can still remember some of the most life-changing meals that literally changed everything for me, and I feel like I almost had a religious experience with them. Opening myself up to food changed my life. It changed how I think, how I design, how I travel. It changed my friendships, and it really changed everything for me. So I think that's an interesting fact. One fun fact about my business is that myself and our two directors, Francis and Cara, we all used to work together about 6 years ago at a different design studio in New York. And when we came together to build Island, we knew that we wanted to take all of our experiences of working at these other boutique design studios, keep what was really great about them, and get rid of all of the things that were terrible. We wanted to change archaic processes and fix the industry a little bit, at least as much as we could from our small studio. And to us, that meant improving processes, better work-life balance, mandatory location-based research, which I think makes a huge impact, outsourcing consultants so that we can spend all of our time focusing on the design and the details and the storytelling, and wellness, which I think is a huge part of something that was never done at a lot of other studios. There wasn't a lot of mentorship, there wasn't a lot of guidance, and at Island that's really important to us that we change that culture for the better to make the design industry as a whole even stronger. Well, I think that's all that we have time for today, you guys. Thank you so much. It's been fun. Hopefully you learned something, and I will talk to you guys again soon.